Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at what I think is the best healer in the game, the Rescuer. Now, normally when I do stats, you'll see on the bottom, you'll see the average stats of all the vanilla heroes and then the modded hero that I'm looking at. But today I'm doing the Vestal as well, because the Vestal I think is basically undeniably the best base healer because she can heal all four people at once and can't get zeros. You can make an argument for the occultist, but that's neither here nor there today. So, I'll be comparing the Rescuer to the Vestal. I don't think the Occultist is a fair trade because the Vestal is primarily a healer and you can play the Occultist for stuff like other than healing. But this guy is, I guess you can play him for stuff other than healing too, but I don't think you should. First off, I just want to say how fucking good this guy is. 25 bleed resist, death blow resist, stun resist, more stun resist, stress damage received. And then some might say, well, this guy's a fucking tank. Like, holy shit, he's got all the quirks he wants. So, getting into the stats, you have 31 HP, which is super, super low. The lowest in the base game is the Jester with 35. And now the Vestal has 44 HP, which is about average. So, 1 point for the Vestal. Dodge, we have 30, which is above average for the base game, but that takes into consideration stuff like the, like the Plague Doctor with 20 or the Leper with like 20, or, so 30 is basically average. The Vestal does have that 20 though, so you have a point here. Now the big difference is speed 9. I have a building for 2, which I think you should get. I don't build districts, but I built this one. The Vestal has 6 speed. 9 speed is so good, and as a healer who needs high speed, you don't have to itemize for speed as much as you do on a Vestal. So this is fantastic. Crit, you have 6 crit, which is below average and is really bad. Not as bad as the Vestal's 5 crit, though. You have 6 to 10 damage, which is basically like Flagell. I think Flagellant's 5 to 11. The Vestal was 7 to 14, so the Vestal was winning again. Although granted, a lot of the Vestal's abilities, Judgment has a minus damage mod on it, Illumination has a minus damage mod on it, Mace Bash and Hand of Light don't matter, because why the fuck would you use those? This guy has some, I don't believe, yeah, this one doesn't fall, the track doesn't have one, Stay Back has minus 20, this has minus 40. So it's kind of comparable damage, I would say. Blight Resist, we have 100, stun resist. You have 100 stun, which is above average. The Vestal has 90 stun. Stun resist is quite important on this guy because he has a self-stun ability. So getting this high, like I have a stun resist quirk and then another stun resist quirk, so 125 is super, super fantastic. Blight is 100, Vestal has 90, both. This is above average, Vestal's a little bit below average. Bleed, we have 100 here, which is above average, Vestal has 90. Debuff is 90, same as the Vestal, which is average. Move is 80, which is below average by far. Vestal is 90, which is a little bit less than below average. Trap is 70, same with Vestal, which is just bottom. And then we have 20 Disease, which is worse than the Vestal's 30, and you move 1-1. Now, the Vestal also moves 1-1, so it's worthy to note. The good thing is, moving isn't actually that bad. The Vestal basically has to be in positions 3 or 4 to get her Divine Grace and Judgment. And then position 2, she can use the Stun and Divine Comfort. In position 1, she's essentially fucked and can't do anything. But this guy, he can really be anywhere and he's actually fine. He has movement abilities too if you really want to use them. So starting with this, first aid, a lot of these tooltips are kind of long, but they make a lot of sense. You have to be position 2-3, which is really where he shines. The thing is, I like about the Rescuer, is he can be in position 2 or 3 and be just as effective in either one. The Vestal kind of has to be in 3 or 4, which means you have one more backline dude and 2 frontline dudes. But this guy can be front or back, so you could really be like in either place, you know what I mean? So first aid is your single target heal, 6 to 7. The Vestal does 8 to 9 on Divine Comfort, if I remember correctly. But what this does is it cures bleed, removes horror, and cures blight. 80% chance is good, 60 is alright, 40 is not so great, but like might as well. You buff yourself for stun resistance so you don't get stunned. You buff the target for death blow resist, so if they're on death's door and you get them off, now they're less likely to die if they get hit again. And you self-stress heal for 7. This is your big self-stress heal. Compare this to Tonic Mix, which is another stress heal for himself, but for 4. but this is a party heal for 3 to 4, and this can be used in position 1 as well. So if you get knocked out into position 1, you can still heal people, which is great. You can't heal from position 4, but okay, I mean, it's kind of rare that you'd be knocked back into position 4. Not, okay, it's not rare, but like, it's not that bad. But what this does is it cures bleed for 60% compared to 80% on first aid. But it clears stun 80%, and that's fantastic because you go first because you have 11 base speed, or 9, but you get the building, so you have 11. I'm going off as if you have 11. 11 speed means stuns are kind of invalidated because you go before them and you clear the stun and you're healing the whole party. So great. And this is a self-stress heal as well, so that's another great thing. These are two great abilities. I would never not have these, like, ever. Then you have Noxious Oxide. I don't have this leveled up, I'll tell you in a second. This is it's self-stun, and then it's a group stress heal for everyone else. Now, at rank 3, the chance is 98%. And if you remember, you have 100% stun resist. So you would never ever do it to you'd never stun yourself with level 3 nitrous oxide at level 6. Now, I accidentally leveled this up, and now it's supposed to be guaranteed. I don't know what level 5 is. I'm sure it increases it more. I could probably just check the coding files. But I don't want to level it up because I have a higher stun resist, so I've never stunned myself with this guy because he has 125. But I would keep this at rank 3, maybe 4 if you get the 125 like I do, because you won't stun yourself at rank 4 at least. But this is great. This is another stress heal. You don't stress heal yourself, but you can do that with first aid or tonic mix. And you're going to be juggling these skills anyway, so everyone's stress will actually be quite low. Now you have this hypnosis thing. Now this refreshes stuff like emboldening vapors and finale and leper's revenge and withstand, stuff that has a battle limit. So you could like terrifying yop 6 times or 9 times if you like do it right. It's a self stress heal for 7. Notably, this can only be used twice, so it's not that great, I don't think. It buffs yourself for healing skills and stress healing, which is good because this does make you better than the Vestal. Divine Comfort is 4 to 5, and Divine Grace is 8 to 9. So you're a weaker healer, but you're more flexible as a healer, and you're a stress healer. So I think it's not as good as healing, but this can get you up there. And you buff the party for 6 crit. This is okay. It's very situational though, and I think this and this stay away and follow the track fall under the problem of opportunity cost. There's better skills than this that you want to take. So this, while itself can be good, it's not as good as the other things that you actually want. Stay away. I'm not sure I've ever really used this. It sounds okay. You have a decent damage, not really. Like it's decent damage mod, but your base damage is low. Your crit goes up. You knock back 3, and then you have a much higher crit versus stunned, and you have a stun chance versus marked. Okay, so that's very situational. If someone's stunned, I don't really care about knocking them back. But okay, and if they're marked, I guess that could be really good stun. But the thing I don't like is the move back. Because the way to fix a move back, a permanent move back, is like, if you don't have a way to move forward, you use a skill once, and then you're out of position, really. Because you don't have them in position 1, you have them in 2, so you can use first aid and nitrous oxide. So the way to counter that is to have follow the track, which is your move forward ability, which has combos versus bleeding, and has base damage, a lot more damage versus bleeding, bleed chance versus marked. So you'd want these two together. But if you're taking these together, it means you can't have both the heals and the stress heal. So you're dropping one of these. Which I don't know, you definitely want the heal party, absolutely. I'd probably take the heal because you get all the cure shit. But then you're not getting a whole stress heal for 3 people? I don't think it's worth it to have like kind of shitty damage abilities. This is decent damage, I guess. But like, this hurting tactics, I think, is the good damage ability. It activates a riposte on yourself, and the riposte does bleed for 4 over 2. You could do more damage versus spiders if you have the spider monster mod. Thank God, because I fucking hate those things. And riposte only lasts for one action, or sorry, for one turn. So you get one round. You have to keep doing this. But herding tactics, what it does, this is okay on its own. It hits 4 people, like all 4 enemies, for kind of shit damage. And the accuracy is quite low. You will miss. Like, it's not uncommon that you'll miss with this ability. And this is okay on its own. Before I got this amazing quirk, I would run Follow the Track as my 4th ability. But one of these quirks, Herding Master, gives herding tactics a mark chance. If you hit something, you can mark them. So what this does, I'm sure I've said this on this channel before, is you hit all 4 people, the entire enemy team is now marked. You get free marks. You're still doing damage too. Like, you'll do maybe like 6, 8 damage. There's another quirk here, Expert Hunter, which gives you more damage as well. It gives Follow the Track like an actual bleed chance. What this does is give you damage. So if you want that and Herding Master, that could be okay. Like, there's no reason to not have that. But when you get 4 free marks, essentially, because you want at least one damaging ability on a guy, you know what I mean? And you don't want to have these 2, because then you can't get the other ones. So you want this, essentially, as process of elimination. And just because it's better. But you get the free marks, so then you don't have to spend an action using Weakening Curse or, like, Marks for Death, something that does no damage on a high damage character like the Bounty Hunter. You can just do this. And on the first turn of the battle, you're not healing anyway. How the fuck have you taken damage? By the time the guy with 11 speed on the first round has gone, how have you taken damage? You have to suck. Or you have to be going in low hoping you can, like, heal or something off this. So just do this anyway. You're already going to be doing this because you're not going to heal or stress heal. So you get free marks. It's great. Going on to the camping skills, we have Scent in the Air. I don't think I've ever really used this. Scouting chance for quest, that is quite nice. For time cost 1, search for herbs. I might just have this, like, around. Like, you know, if I have 1 extra time cost, this is a great thing to do. But I don't think I would ever be like, yeah, Scent in the Air, I'm going to use that first. Not really. Hound Howl is fucking garbage. Don't use this. 3 battle, not even 4, it's 3. 5 dodge for the party. That's ridiculously bad. Don't ever use this. Medical Studies, I think, is the best one. You get more cure chance. There's a chance you get cure chance. And you get more healing skills. So this basically makes you Vestal levels of healing. Canine Vigil is actually a prevent nighttime ambush. You get more bleed when applied, which you probably won't because you won't be using this. But, okay, that's cool, I guess. This does help your riposte because your riposte bleeds. So this is alright. It's good. It's a nighttime ambush, so if you don't have anything else, it's fine. This is okay. This is, you can... 6 stun resist, I don't care. That's not going to really get you anywhere unless that's like the perfect number to get yourself not stunned, I guess. I don't really know. Party stress heal. Thing is, there's too many chances here. I think if I wanted to stress heal somebody, I would just use an encourage twice, and then I get like I get a lot of those things. I don't care about 3 death blow resist. That's useless. This is too much for too many chances. Reinforced Training is quite a good ability. You get 50% armor piercing for the whole party, 15% bleed chance I don't really care about, 3% death blow I really don't care about, that's such a minuscule number, but 50% armor piercing, that's great. I'm thinking fights like the Cannon has that. The modded boss fight, the Kraken, has a lot of armor piercing. If you're going into the Warrens, practically all those stupid ass pigs have some form of prot. So this could be really good. You gotta know what you're doing with this. With time cost 5, you can't just be like hoping you run into some shit with prot. You gotta know that you're gonna have shit with prot. The Adder Twins fight, watch that on my channel if you want to fight that. This could be great for that as well. Overall, pretty good ability, but situational. Vocation of Service is the big ol' one. Suffer 50% HP damage, 50% stress, 50% chance for herbs, and search for supplies. I don't care about those 3rd and 4th things. And this is half of your whole time. Half. 5% death blow resist is getting somewhere. All people heal 33% HP, minus 33 stress, virtue chance, and remove mortality debuffs. I can't think of when I'd want to use this. Like, Hmm. I can't think of it. If I mean, obviously the answer is when everybody but the rescuer has no HP and high stress, and the rescuer somehow has high HP and no stress. But when is that the case? When do you have one guy that's like being a Chad and has nothing wrong with him, and the whole rest of the party is fucking screwed? I guess if you have one like virtue and 3 afflictions, but then you wouldn't go for the virtue chance, so it doesn't matter. Like for half of my I can heal, like I'm a healer and a stress healer with the rescuer. So just take like 4 turns and do that. It's really not that bad. Like 33 stress, that's like 5 turns, assuming no other crits. Like yeah, 5 turns sounds like a lot, but I mean, it's really not that much. Considering like you're getting half this, just do a fucking encourage or something. Like this just, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's not that great. I would definitely take medical studies. I would take the nighttime ambush. I would take reinforced training, and I would probably take set in the air. I wouldn't really use this. This is not. This is too much. This is, and then this is too many. Just too many chances. Like come on, and this is dog shit. So what I was talking about earlier with opportunity cost is, we'll get back to comparisons with the Vestal in a bit, but you are a healer. This is a healing class. This is a party heal class. No other, like, not many people can heal the whole party at once and get multiple people out death's door. And then you clear stun as well. This is great. You want this. Okay. And then you want the big heal for when somebody's on low HP and no one else is on low HP. That can happen if someone gets crit twice. And then buff. And this is also great for the better cures, removing horror and blight. The bleed, if you like, you could probably get off 60% bleed, but you want this. So you want both of these healing abilities, basically like all the time. And then you want the stress heal, because you're also a stress healer. So you're combining 2 heroes into one, really. Like now you have a Vestal and a Houndmaster in one hero. Okay, so now I have 4 abilities left. I would never not take these. You always want these 3. And now, so I want to be able to do some damage. So Hypnosis is out, and I only have 1 damage. So this is like, okay, this is better than this. You don't want Stay Away, because this is just less damage. You're looking for damage, so you don't want this. You want this, because this can be used from anywhere and hit anywhere. This is like fantastic for that, hitting anywhere from anywhere. Okay, but you could also hit all 4 people at once. Your damage is still bad either way, so you might as well just go for all 4 and try and get those marks in. Free marks? This is what I run exclusively. I basically always run this. And so, looking at compared to the Vestal, you are a worse healer. Like, you are on HP healed, you are objectively worse than the Vestal. But, you clear stun, you cure bleed, you cure blight, you cure horror, and you stress heal, and you mark people. That's 6 things you have over the Vestal. What does the Vestal have? Let's look at the Vestal. Let me find a Vestal. I'm looking the wrong way for a Vestal. There we go. Alright, I don't even have shit unlocked on that person. Alright, so the Vestal has Trash, Damage versus Unholy, but okay. You have Self-Heal on an attack. Judgment is a great skill. You have a Stun, that's also great. You have the 2 heals. You have Illumination, which is, that's okay. Bypassing stealth and de-stealthing is good, except with hurting tactics you hit all 4 people anyway, so stealth doesn't matter. Other people can't get through the stealth, but okay. Hand of Light is also bad. This is kind of what you'd see on a Vestal. You'd maybe see Illumination over the Stun, probably. Thing is, Illumination just isn't that great because you're you don't have high accuracy on your Vestal, and it's a dodge debuff. So you tell me you're hitting a madman with a person with low accuracy? No, you're not. It's not gonna work all the time. So the Vestal, you get nighttime ambush as well with the rescuer. These 2 are kind of shit. Bless is very good, and you don't get Bless. But I think the rescuer has more to offer. He's better suited as a healer with the high speed. He's kind of a bitch with 31 HP. I've never lost a rescuer, but 31 HP is quite low. For trinketing, let's go through my trinketing right now. Alright. There is a Color of Madness trinket. Oh, sorry, Crimson Court trinket. 40% healing skills, death blow with virtuous. Okay. I haven't found the other one, but 40% healing skills is great. You get some good heals. Let me find some other ones. I know what I'm looking at. The pet mod, you get 1 extra healing done, and then when you kill people, you get more stress healing. This is good. What I really liked, you can always use Junia's head as well. That's the classic Vestal trinket. What I did like to use was the this one, but I think this isn't updated, so you end up giving restoration to the people that hit you, like the enemies. That doesn't really work out well. But, you know, do kind of whatever you want. Get, like, I don't know, I'll just throw on Junia's head. With these things, you kind of get your regular Vestal healing anyway. I wouldn't run accuracy on this guy, honestly. I would run speed as well. Just so he gets more speed. I have a perfect trinket. I can't... You know, it's great when I could fucking find them. Yeah. 16 dodge, 2 speed. It's just like some fucking shit I found. You get really good dodge now and you get even more speed. The stress damage taken doesn't really matter because you stress heal yourself with your heals. Like, you just get that. Healing done means you're really on par with a Vestal. That's really great. Like, it's clear that you're not on Vestal levels of healing, but with everything else you can do with preventing damage, like the Vestal can heal. If the Vestal heals for 15, and then you take your bleed, you might end up getting less done than if you just cured the bleed in the first place. Overall, I think the Rescuer is just more flexible, especially with positioning. Position 1, you get the party heal. Position 4, you get the stress heal. It's really better to be in 1 than 4, but you can always be doing something. Like, you're basically never really out of position with this class as opposed to the Vestal. The high speed, I think, is really what's up. The high speed and the cure is what really sells me on this class over the Vestal. Because with the Vestal, you can't stop. You can't stop damage. As you can heal it, but you can't stop it. But with this, you can. You can also stop horror and cure stress. He's like the perfect everything. Now, this is he can only go by himself. I don't think there's any other restrictions class-wise. And I haven't gotten all of his other trinkets. But I think you really just want this. Like, you want speed. You don't even really need dodge, but dodge is definitely nice. Maybe speed, HP, and then just healing. Just healing skills. That's really all you would need. Get your stun resist up, preferably through these quirks here. That's even better, because then you can free up more trinket slots. Overall, I totally recommend getting this class. It's one of my favorite classes. The tooltips can be tough to read, and you can kind of be like, what the fuck does this actually mean? How many different variables do I have to deal with? But just use these 4 skills. Use these 4. And don't level this one up. Maybe do at your own risk. I don't want to do it because I can't reverse it, but do as you will. I'll see you guys around.